Hello, friends and lovers. Welcome. I'm Jana. What a way to start a video. All right, lady. So this week, we are going to be following me and seeing what I read in a week. I've been wanting to be able to communicate how I read so many books, and I think the best way to do that is just to kind of show and go through day by day in a week and tell you how much I read that day and what format I read it in and how I got that done. So every day I will do a little check-in to let you know how many pages I read, whether I listened to something on an audio, whether or not I read it as an ebook, whether or not I read it physically. And today is Sunday, so this is the beginning of our week. I am hoping that this is also a good reading week. This is busy season at my work, but I feel like there's never going to be a perfect time in my adult life where it's going to be like a regular week in my life, because I feel like things are changing and things are going on so often, and just every week is different and has its own challenges. So we're just going to show what I get done this week. So I will check in with you later to tell you how much I read. Hello. Good morning. So, first update. On Sunday, I read Please Hold for My Son. Hello, son. Ooh. I hope everyone has someone in their life that loves them as much as this cat loves me, because truly unrivaled. Could a man do this? No. Anyway, so update on what I read yesterday. Yesterday, I ended up reading Olive Bride by Ali Hazelwood on audio. Do you want to go already? You just got here. So I read Olive Bride by Ali Hazelwood. That was 410 pages read. I listened to that on audio. Did I stay up late to finish that last night? In a way, yes. But was this mostly spurred by this house that I'm building in The Sims? Also, yes. So I was just like, I don't want you to think that I spent my Sunday just sitting with the words in my ears. I was furiously clicking through every decor item to make this house beautiful. So I did that for several hours and I finished this book. And then yesterday I also read 50 pages of Kim Ji-yoon, born 1982. I thought I was going to finish this yesterday, but it was making me like irrationally angry, like, because it's basically about like all of the situations that this girl who's being raised in Korea is encountering, like systematic like misogyny. Like there was just like rules about everything. Like the thing that made me the most angry is they gave everyone a number and you would eat lunch in that number. And then if you ate slowly, the teacher would get mad at you and be like, why didn't you finish your lunch in a timely manner? How they gave everyone numbers is first all of the boys got a number and then all of the girls got a number. And so it was mostly girls who were getting in trouble for eating slow because they were getting their lunch later and later. Like, that's crazy. So it did make me understand random acts of violence, because I was about to go outside and just start kicking men at random. So I did start a new audiobook today to pivot from random acts of violence. I picked up An Education in Malice by S.T. Gibson. This is a vampire dark academia. That word, every time I say it out loud, does not sound how it sounds like inside of my brain. So if I'm saying it wrong, just know I have good intentions, but bad speaking. So this, so far, I'm like all right with it. I'm feeling like pretty middle of the road. And I work from home today, so I will be starting work in like an hour. So when I work from home, I get up at 7 and I don't start work until 9. And most of the time, I do spend like a majority of that time reading or watching YouTube videos, or, you know, just like going through the things that it takes to get you to gussy up for a good corporate day in America. So I am all ready. I did my makeup and I listened to my book and I made my coffee. So I'm ready to sit down for a little bit and do some reading. And then while I'm working, I listen to audio when I do repetitive tasks. So some days I could listen to audio for 8 hours. And that's like if I wanted to. Sometimes I don't want to. Sometimes I want to listen to music. Sometimes I want to listen to a podcast. So, and this week I really want to not like push myself to read because I'm documenting it, you know? Like I want to let myself do whatever feels natural to me. But I wouldn't be surprised if I finish this today because this is an 8-hour audiobook and I'm listening to it, I think, on like 2 point something, maybe 2.5. The narrators do use like some accents. So I have been adjusting the speed accordingly as I'm like, wait, that doesn't make sense to me. Slow it down. But I will typically listen to an audiobook anywhere from like 2.2 to 3, sometimes higher than 3 if it's a romance book. I will turn it up. Can you go, sir? Keep it going. And then my friend Mel made this template for me to track my reading this week. So when I finish a book, in that little like section, I'm going to put the day I finished it. I'm already in shambles. Like I looked good the last 2 days and then you can tell I've already given up. So for my reading update, on Monday, I finished Kim Ji-yoon, born 1982, which I find a very fun name to say, if you can't tell. Was it a fun book to read? No, it made me angry. So yesterday I read and finished it, and I read 112 pages of that. I DNF'd an Education in Malice at 116 pages. That was my audiobook. Listened to about 15 pages of Third Son's a Charm by Shanna Galen. This is a historical romance about a third son. So if you don't know, like the first son obviously is the inheritor and gets everything. The second son maybe also needs to do something prestigious, but the third son, they have 2 options, and it's to either go into military service or to become like a pastor or priest or something. The third son in this, Ewan, comes back from his military service and is now working as a bodyguard for a duke's daughter. And so obviously they're going to fall in love. So I'm listening to this. I don't know when I'm going to start on ebook or physically or whatever. Whatever enters my brain will get picked up next. Well, okay, happy another day. Sorry for coming to you with my like corporate mommy look. Like, anyway, I just got home from work, and now I'm gonna give you the update on 2 days. So on Tuesday, my brain's dead. Okay. On Tuesday, I started The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and I read 33 pages of that. And then I ended up finishing Third Son's a Charm, and I read 386 pages of that. So my total word count for Tuesday was 419 pages read, with a combined total from the week of 1,123 pages read. And then on Wednesday, I read 0 pages of Addie LaRue. And then I started Dark Rise by C.S. Pacat. And I, for some reason, also read 33 pages of that. Wild. And then I also picked up The Kiss of Deception on audio. So I listened to that at work. I only listened to about 25% of that, and that was 123 pages. So for Wednesday, my total page count was 156. The combined total after Wednesday was 1,246. I'm feeling pretty good about my week so far. I would have liked to have more physical reading done, but I've been very busy at work. We are in the midst of busy season. I work for an accounting firm, so I am just a very busy girly. So the fact I can fit in any physical reading is honestly like making my whole life right now. But I'm getting audiobooks put away while I'm working if I have the time. So hopefully that continues to trend. And I will update you again tomorrow. I did want to mention, this is Baby Yoda's ear. We're just going to ignore that. I am absolutely loving Darkrise. It is so good. It is action-packed. It's like an upper YA. And so far, it's been taking place on like ships and docks. And, you know, I love a good sailor boy. And so far, it's very intriguing. It's like a multi-POV, third-person situation. And every time I pick it up, I feel like I'm like sucked back into it. So I'm surprised I haven't heard way more people talk about this book because it's so good. From the very beginning, I was like, oh, I could see myself giving this 5 stars. And so I'm just so excited to be reading this week because I think it's exactly what my brain needs, is something that I'm just going to fly through once I have some time to sit down with it.
Hello! I'm a little more lively than I was yesterday. When I made the update, I spent a fair bit of time like staring off into space, and then I had to keep repeating myself because it literally like just wouldn't come out, and that's what I get for working a long day and then trying to make an update. So I apologize for whatever that was, but I am back with another day of reading to tell you about. So yesterday I was in office working, so I read some on the train. Here's my son. So I ended up reading 76 pages of Darkrise on my way to work. And then while I was at work, my audiobook was A Kiss of Deception, and that one I read another 123 pages of. And then I didn't end up reading any more of Addie LaRue. When I got home last night, brain turned off. She was not doing any thinking, and instead I watched some anime and went to bed early. My total for Thursday was 199 pages read, with the grand total of the week so far being 1,446 pages read. I want you to see him. He's like sitting very politely right here. Hello, good morning. So I'm here to wrap up my What I Read in a Week video. So on Friday, I ended up finishing A Kiss of Deception. So let me scoot over so I can put my template thing here. So I finished A Kiss of Deception while I was working, and so I read 246 pages of that, and I didn't end up reading anything physically. I did do a little overtime on this day, so I really didn't have the brain space to read any words with my eyes. So I was kind of a little done. So I am glad that I got to the end of A Kiss of Deception. I ended up really liking it. It was a solid 4 stars for me. The ending definitely packed more of an emotional punch than I thought it was going to. And then on Saturday, I ended up just reading 50 pages of Darkrise, which I am still absolutely loving. It's still like a potential 5 star. So I hope that I keep getting on with that one. And so this is where I ended with where I was in every book I started this week. On the top, if it has a day on it, that's the day I finished. If it has a number, that's the number I left on. I hope that makes sense to you. And I will try to mark which ones I was listening to on audio and which ones I was reading physically. So I read a grand total of 1,742 pages this week, and that's a pretty good week considering I was very busy at work. And I hope this gives you an idea about how I make time in my life for reading, as well as just, you know, my crazy numbers I be dunking. So I hope you found this interesting. And I was thinking it would be kind of interesting in maybe a few months if I did another one of these, because what I tend to pick up, like either physically or audibly or ebook, tends to change just as my life changes. And so I'd be interested to see if, like, when I'm less busy at work over the summer, so you could see like that I read more ebook than I do audio, but that's just something I find interesting because it really does matter. Like what's going on in my life is how I fit books into it. So thank you for coming along with me for this week, and thank you so much for watching.